What up, y'all? On today's video, I'm doing a review for Christina Aguilera's new album, Liberation. Are y'all ready? It's lit.
I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no. I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no.
Yeah, yo, what up, everybody? It's your boy Bright here, the R&B kid, and you're tuned into another episode of On the Bright Side. If this is your first time on my channel, on this channel I talk all things music and entertainment while always keeping things positive and always finding the bright side of everything. So go ahead and make sure you subscribe because of that. And after you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell next to it so you get the post notification. So every time I post a new video, you're gonna see it, okay? Cool. Alrighty, y'all, so like I said, this is going to be a review for Christina Aguilera's new album, Liberation. She just dropped her 8th studio album on RCA Records called Liberation on today, June 15, 2018. I had to give some love to my girl, Christina Aguilera. I still think she's one of the greatest voices in music. Her voice is insane. And, you know, even though it's been kind of quiet for her lately, to me, she's like, was a legend of like when I was younger, like of the 90s and the 2000s. So I've always still loved her to this day. And a lot of people can argue that how great her voice is doesn't really match it to her catalog, which I can understand people saying that, but I still think, so especially her 2000s albums were amazing. Stripped and Back to Basics were two of my favorite pop albums of the 2000s, and I felt like that was when she was really at her artistic peak. So I never really checked out her first debut album and her Spanish album, which were both like in the 90s, and her 2000s albums have been kind of like whatever, but her 2010s albums have been whatever, but her 2000s albums were amazing. So I've always still loved Christina for that. So she's out with her new album, Liberation. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, so let's get into it. Alright guys, so I'm just gonna go track by track for this album. I usually go all over the place for album review, but I'm just gonna go track by track for this one. It feels right. So starting off the album with the first track, Liberation. The title track was pretty much just like an orchestral interlude to kind of announce the album starting. And to me, it felt really useless and like it wasn't really needed. Christina Aguilera has always been an artist that has great intros. The intros for all of her previous albums were always great, and they felt needed and they felt like they made sense. And they always had like a cool like message in them. But this intro was literally just like instruments for the whole like a minute and 47 seconds that lasted, and some slight like childish vocals, I think, and she was saying like one thing, but it didn't feel like it was necessary at all. So it was kind of a weird way to start the album, and I think it was supposed to feel really grand, but it didn't feel grand to me at all. So I feel like it was completely unnecessary, and I wish she kind of started off the albums like she did with a lot of her older albums. This one felt really useless. And then after the intro, we have the track called Searching for Maria, which is like a half a minute track about her trying to search for herself because Maria is her middle name. This track, it just didn't really feel useful at all either. It kind of felt like it was unnecessary, so I didn't really feel like it was needed at all. And then after the track Searching for Maria, we had the track Maria, which was probably one of the most interesting tracks to me because I didn't really like this track, but I wanted to so badly. I really love the intention and the message behind Maria. It was pretty much just saying like, you know, she's like, I need to get back to myself. I need to get back to Maria. I'm looking for Maria. Who's Maria? So, you know, it's dope to have an artist, you know, have that type of track where they're like, I need to find the real me. I'm looking for the real me, and I'm on that quest right now. And who's the real person inside of me, right? Who, you know, after going through all the stuff I've gone through, who's the real person that's still there? So I thought that, like, I love like the lyrics and the intention of the song, but I just felt like the beat was really run of the mill. This is one of the 2 songs that Kanye produced on the album, and I was really looking forward to this track. I really thought I was gonna like it, but Kanye just, to me, I was really disappointed because I feel like Kanye's been coming out with some dope beats for all the hip-hop albums he's been producing with all the good music releases lately, and I feel like this track was just like boring as hell. Kanye didn't do it. Kanye and all the other producers, like the beat was boring. And I felt like I feel like I've heard this track from Christina a million times before, of like her trying to like find herself and all that type of stuff. So I didn't really feel that powerful at all. But I really, like I said, I really did like the intention behind the track. But it didn't really feel as powerful as I wanted it to, because I feel like I've heard this track from her a million times, and also because I feel like the beat didn't match how powerful the song could have been. So. Okay, to me, the album really actually starts like getting its stride and starts, you know, going into the next gear as we go to track 4, which is Sick of Sittin. This is one of the 2 tracks that was produced by Anderson .Paak. To me, this was the first track in the album that really got me like, okay, and I'm really into this album and like what it's and what it's trying to say and what it's trying to do. To me, this was definitely a highlight for me. It was really high energy. I loved the vocal on the track. I loved how it almost seemed like she really didn't give a fuck. You could tell vocally, the lyrics, you know, she pretty much just talked about, I'm sick of sitting. Hey, I'm sick of sitting. So it was cool. It had this dope energy to it. It really had a good vibe. I really feel like her and Anderson .Paak are a good match. I wish she produced more tracks on this album, which I'll talk about later. But yeah, I really like this track. And I also really loved like the rock edge that it had to it. It was probably one of the only tracks that kind of had a rock edge to it. And it kind of took me back to the Stripped era. I think a lot of the songs off the Stripped album kind of had like a little bit of a rock edge to it, which really made it interesting. Songs like Fighter. So I really like this song for that. To me, it was one of the most like interesting messages on the album, one of the most sonically interesting songs on the album, one of the most like, you know, edgy and like, you know, thought-provoking and just sonically forward-pushing. So I really loved how it had like a whole like barrage of sounds to it, and it really felt right. And then after the track Sick of Sittin, we had the interlude Dreamers, which was pretty much like a cute little like, you know, half-minute cute interlude about all these girls pretty much saying like what they want to do in life, and you know, I want to be president, I want to be this, I want to be that. I feel like that interlude was really cute, but it was like low-key kind of corny and wasn't really like necessary for the album. But honestly, it was cute. Like, I'll take it. But I just felt like I would have rather had something else with this type of same message, but not just a bunch of girls saying like, oh, I want to be president, I want to be this, I want to be that. I was like, all right, but I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna get too mad at it. But I felt like it was kind of unnecessary. Okay guys, so after the track Dreamers, we now have Dreamers now segues into Fall in Line, which I think was a great segue for the album, a great transition. And then Fall in Line, it's the second single off the album, featuring Demi Lovato. Her and Demi performed this song at the Billboard Music Awards back in May. I did a review on the Billboard Music Awards, so go check out that video. I'll probably put the card up right here. That performance I already talked about in that video. That performance was terrible, not on Christina's part, but on Demi's part. Christina killed it, but Demi just came in and really fucked up the whole vibe of that performance. And I feel like it's kind of I feel like it's a symbol of how I also feel about the track with Demi on it. I love Demi Lovato, I have nothing against her, but I really feel like if you go check out the solo version of this track on YouTube, I think it's out online somewhere. I've already heard the solo version of this track many times before, and I still like it way better than the version that has Demi on it. I just feel like Demi didn't really make this song sound bad at all, but I just feel like this song sounds way better with just Christina by herself on it. So I still feel that way to this day, but honestly, I'm getting more used to the Demi version. I'm getting more warmed up to it, and I like it now. Like I like it. I can enjoy it if I hear it, but I still think that this song does fit better with just having Christina on it by herself. But besides that, this track is amazing. Fall in Line is still an amazing song. Excuse me. Production wise, the production by John Bellion is amazing. I love how it's like really like old school, like really has like a lot of brass, a lot of horns, but it has like somewhat of like a modern trappy underneath it. It's a really dope production. It's so unique and it stands out from the pack. So I love the production on this song. I love the lyrics. It's really an empowering song for women, talking about not falling in line and not, you know, not giving into everybody's standards as a woman and doing what you want to do, and not giving into all the bullshit, which I think is a dope message, especially in this climate right now. This song really fits this climate in this Me Too era, in this Time's Up era. I think this is a great song to have right now, and I think it's interesting because this song has not really become a hit yet. I thought it would by now, but it hasn't really hit the charts yet. It's kind of been slow, but I really think the song deserves to become a hit. Like, I think it's a great record. I think it's a great record for the times, and besides that, it's just an amazing song. Demi version or not, either version, it's still a great song. So I really want y'all to pay more attention to this track. I think it's a great one y'all need to stop sleeping on, for real. Okay, this was one of the most interesting tracks off the album for me. Track number 7, Right Moves, featuring Kada and Shenseea. This song was like the only like reggae dancehall song of the album. It came with that reggae dancehall beat, and I was like, okay, Christina, alright, like, okay. Because I don't think I've ever seen her do like a reggae dancehall song before, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I've ever heard it from her, like heavy. So this is the first. It just had that crazy beat, and I really like the beat on the song. I really feel like it's slinky, it's groovy, it's funky. You know, it has that vibe to it. But I also feel like something was missing on the song. I don't know what it is. I just feel like something was missing. I don't know, man. Like, the beat was dope, and like vocally, like, I liked her voice on the song. Like, her voice sounded nice on the song. And the two feature artists, they did their thing. They're both, I'm pretty sure they're both they're both reggae dancehall artists. So I loved what they brought to the track. They definitely brought the vibe up. But I'm kind of indifferent to the song because I feel like it's kind of missing something to I really like took it there. I just feel like it kind of just stayed like in one place. You got the right moves, but it was like, all right, I need something else to really make this like a vibe, and it didn't give it to me. But I liked where this track was going. The only thing I would say about this track that it's kind of faulty for is the fact that I feel like it's such an outlier on the album, and it sounds so out of place on the album. But at the end of the day, on the bright side, I really like this track because it really showed, I think, how versatile Christina Aguilera's voice is. Like, her voice can sound good on pop shit, R&B shit, more hip-hoppy joints, and now like reggae dancehall joints. Like, her voice is so versatile and it can work on any type of record. And that's something I think that's definitely a strength of Christina Aguilera, is that her voice really can go on many different types of songs, and it can go in many different type of directions, and it'll always work. So shout out to Christina for that. But yeah, I just feel like this song was missing something for me. But let me know what y'all think about this song. Okay, and now we're coming to my favorite track of the album. Guys, this song is a motherfucking vibe. Yo, Like I Do, featuring GoldLink. Guys, I actually heard the song before it even came out. Like, I found it online somehow. Don't ask me how, I just found it online. And I heard like a low quality version at first, and when I first heard it, I was like, okay, this was cool. And now that I've actually heard the official final master version again and again, this song to me is not only probably the best track off the album, but it's one of probably my favorite songs of the year so far that I've heard. This song is a fucking vibe. Another track produced by Anderson .Paak. I'm telling you guys, her and Anderson .Paak make a good team. This track was produced by Anderson .Paak and some other guys named Brilliant and Dumbfounded. This beat is crazy. The beat is insane. I love the synths. The actual like stuttering drums on this song are just amazing. Christina Aguilera's vocal is dope, and GoldLink just brings like a dope rap presence to the track that just brings it all up. I think GoldLink just brought up the energy of the track a lot more. I can't say enough about this track. I love this track, guys. It's probably one of my favorite tracks off the album. Such a gem on the album, and I hope it becomes the next single off the album. Christina Aguilera, if you do anything for this era and for this album, make Like I Do a motherfucking single. You have to. It's that good of a record. Oh my god. If y'all have not listened to this track, go listen to it. You will put it on, you'll be like, oh shit. When the beat comes on, you'll be like, oh shit. I'm telling you, this song is every fucking thing. I'm telling you, go listen to it. I think what I like so much about this track is just the fact that I feel like this is like the one song on the album that I think represents what Christina Aguilera can do. When I say that, like, it's the only song that I feel like perfectly combines the roles of R&B, pop, and hip hop. Like, you know, a GoldLink is giving you the rap vibes. The R&B vibe is like the beat and like the melody chosen, but like, and the pop side is like her vocal and like just Christina Aguilera's like whole vibe is like very pop, you know, very pop leaning. But it just gives you all three like perfectly balanced, perfectly melded together. And I feel like Christina Aguilera like is at her best when she's combining all three of those worlds together. I feel like that's what works best for her, and she showed that perfectly on this track. Like I Do is a motherfucking gem. Woo! Don't sleep on this track, y'all. I'm telling you. After Like I Do, we have the track Deserve. To me, I didn't really like this song that much. It was cool, not a bad song, but it didn't feel as powerful for me as I wanted it to. But it had some cool lyrics on it. I think the song was written by Julia Michaels and Justin Tranter, among other writers. And I love that songwriting team. They're a great team. But I don't really. I feel like this song, it was written nicely, but I just feel like it didn't really do that much for me. So I feel like this was somewhat of a filler song on the album. But that's just my opinion. Okay, so after the track Deserve, we have track number 10 called Twice. It's funny because actually when I first heard the song, I really didn't like it at all. But after hearing it a few more times, I actually kind of like it now. It's one of the only like real like ballads on the album. But it's a beautiful song. Pretty much, I interpret it as Christina Aguilera talking about kind of setting yourself free from like your past lovers, your past like regrets, and your past wrongdoings, and kind of realizing that it's all part of the journey of life to have gone through all those ups and downs. And she pretty much just saying, listen, if I could take all back, no, I will do it all over again. Twice. So I just think that was a cool track about pretty much like accepting your wrongdoings and all your past stuff in your past life and all the stuff you regretted, just kind of like accepting it and kind of like saying, you know, this is part of life, and setting yourself free from it. So it was a really cool ballad. Great vocal, great lyrics, and I just loved how it kind of slowed down at this point. But I wonder if the song will become a single. I doubt it. It was a pre-release track before the album came out. Very quiet. Nobody really talked about it after it came out, but I enjoy it now. I think it's one of the songs you have to listen to a couple more times to really get into it, but it was a nice ballad. And definitely one of the most interesting songs, I think, conceptually off the album for me, for sure. Alright, the interlude, I don't need it anymore. After Twice was cool. This was pretty much Christina Aguilera saying, listen, I don't need any more of the BS. I don't need it anymore, so that was cool. I actually like that interlude. I think compared to the other interludes off the album, this to me actually felt like it was necessary and it actually fit into the album very well. And then after the interlude, we have the track Accelerate. I don't know, guys. Accelerate featuring Ty Dolla $ign and 2 Chainz. I've never liked the song since it came out. I've always wanted to. I want to like the song so badly, but I just can't get into it, y'all. I don't know. And this is the second song that was produced by Kanye West and a bunch of other people. Kanye, again, to me, was trying to go for a cool vibe on his record, but I feel like the production ended up being really stale and it didn't really go anywhere. And for a song called Accelerate, I feel like this song lyrically doesn't fit with the vibe and the production of the song at all. Like, the production of the song is very stale. It doesn't really go anywhere. It's kind of just like boom bap and, you know, some vibey synths. But then after that, it doesn't really go anywhere. And then after 2 Chainz comes in with his rap, it slows down completely. And then just goes back to like the first part of the song, but it's really boring. I just don't know. I feel like this song was kind of all over the place. And it was trying to go for like this cool, like, you know, clubby, like cool vibe. But it didn't really go anywhere for me. And I feel like Ty Dolla $ign just sounds weird on the track, and 2 Chainz rap was cool, but it wasn't really needed and it was kind of unnecessary. The one good thing about this track is I really do like her voice on it. I think like vocally she sounds good on the track, and the melody she chose, like her voice sounds great. I just feel like it's just kind of boring and it didn't really go anywhere. And I think it made me even more upset because it's a song called Accelerate, so you think it would really go somewhere, but it didn't really do it. And I don't know, I appreciate that this song was different and that it was trying to do something different and really trying to go in a different type of direction sonically, but it didn't really accomplish its mission for me. It was kind of dry. And on top of that, it was the first single for the album, which I don't really understand because it's one of the worst tracks in the album to me. And the video is whack as hell too. I don't know. Like, the video for Fall in Line is great. Shout out to Christina Aguilera and Demi Lovato for that. But the video for Accelerate was just random as hell. It was like, I don't know. Why was the song put out as a single? RCA and Christina Aguilera's camp. Why? Okay, after Accelerate is a track called Pipe. This song, I hate it, but I didn't love it. I was kind of just in the middle with it. I might like it more if I hear it more, but for now I think it's just okay. I really like the more like, you know, like late night smoothed out R&B vibe that the song was giving. And whoever the rapper was, XNDA, his little verse was cool. I feel like this song, this also kind of like Right Moves, it kind of just needed something else, I feel like, to kind of just put that extra sauce on it. But I'll take it for what it was. Maybe I just need to hear it more times, but I feel like it just needed something, maybe like more like powerful vocals. I don't know, I just feel like it needed something to really take it there. But it was definitely an enjoyable track. It's definitely not a bad one at all, and if anything, one of the more enjoyable tracks on the album. After the track Pipe, we have Mass Assist. For y'all who don't know what that is, I'm not going to tell you. Go look up what that word means. But this was a cool track. I think lyrically this song was very interesting. A track pretty much talking about, you know, obviously loving someone so much to the point where it's not good for you, but because you love them so much and because you love the love, you can't really walk away from it. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. Like, we all can relate to that. So it definitely was a dope track lyrically, and I think the vocal also saves the song. But I think what kind of brought the song down for me was just the production. DJ Camper is one of my favorite producers out right now. Shout out to DJ Camper. He's doing his thing, producing so many dope projects. He produced the entire Jessie J project, which is amazing. I talked about that album in my drop episode 5. Go check out that video. I'll probably put the card up right here. So DJ Camper is a dope producer, but I just feel like the production that he had on this song was very boring, so it kind of brought it down. But vocally, the vocals saved the song, and lyrically, it's definitely one of the better songs conceptually on the album. So I'm not gonna say a highlight for me, but definitely an enjoyable track. And the last track, guys, off the album is Unless It's With You. That was the closer, and I thought it was a really weird way to close the album. For an album that's called Liberation, and for an album that I thought was supposed to be about a woman, really like talking about, you know, her being really grown and kind of being liberated from all her past shit, whatever, being liberated from everything in life. I thought it was kind of weird to end the album off with a track talking about how much she wants to marry a guy, you know, who she sees as the only guy she ever wants to marry for the rest of her life or whatever. You know, she was saying, listen, I'm not gonna get married or whatever unless it's with you. And the track was very nice, it was cute, but I just thought it was a weird way to end the album talking about liberation. You know, it's like, okay, I'm liberated, but I'm also gonna tie myself down to a man to end off my album. I don't know, it was just weird. It was a weird thing for me, but on its own, the track was nice. I wasn't in love with it, but it was cool. Not amazing, but not bad at all. And shout out to Ricky Reed. Ricky Reed produced it. Kind of a different vibe for him. He doesn't really do a lot of ballads, so this was cool. But yeah, like I said, a really weird way to end off an album that was talking about liberation. But let me know what y'all think about the track. Alright y'all, so now that I've kind of done my track by track review of the album, I'm going to talk about my thoughts of the album as a whole. As a whole, guys, all in all, I don't think this album was a masterpiece at all, and I'm going to say I'm a little bit disappointed by Christina Aguilera, because I honestly was expecting this album to be a masterpiece, because we've been waiting for this album for 6 years. Whether, you know, if you're a Christina Aguilera fan, you know that she's not released her last album since 2012. So it's been 6 years now since she released her last album, and I feel like that was more than enough time for her to have created a masterpiece. And I don't think she actually started recording this album until 2014. So that's about what, 3-4 years. So in 3-4 years, I'm surprised that this is what Christina Aguilera gave us as a whole project. I feel like this album is definitely not terrible at all. Definitely not terrible. But it's just not as good as I thought it was going to be. So I'm a little bit disappointed by that. I think there's some filler on the album, which I think is kind of BS for a project, like I said, that we've been waiting for so long. I feel like for an album that's been 6 years in the making, I don't think there should have been, especially since it only has 15 tracks, I don't feel like there should have been one track that was filler at all. Like, not one track. If anything, an interlude could have been filler, but those are interludes. I just feel like there's a lot of tracks on this album that are like not bad, but I just feel like Christina could have came up with something better, or she could have reworked it in a different type of way to just kind of bring more energy to the track. But at the end of the day, on the bright side, guys, there are some gems. That's definitely what I want to say about the album. There are some gems. The ones that are the most clear standout gems for me are the Anderson .Paak tracks, Sick of Sittin' and Like I Do. Those, to me, those are two of the best tracks off the album. And then also the track Fall in Line as well. Fall in Line is already the current single. Good job. I hope her team releases Like I Do as the next single off the album. It's a perfect choice. And I think some other songs off after that, I'm not gonna say like are my favorites, but also some definite highlights. I would say Twice and maybe Pipe and Narcissist. But yeah, I just think all in all, this album, like I said, wasn't terrible, but not great. Had a lot of filler, but also had some gems too. I think one of the best ways I could describe this album, you know what it is? I think what brought down this album was that it was kind of all over the place sonically and conceptually. Like, I kind of thought Christina being a veteran artist and her having done this for so long, all of her projects, if you look at it, all of her projects have always followed like a certain theme and a certain like aesthetic. Like, Stripped was like, had a vibe about it. Back to Basics had a very consistent, you know, sonic and aesthetic theme to it, going back in time to like the 20th century vibes from like the 20s all the way through like the 50s and 60s, and kind of honing in on those like soul and funk sounds. And then Bionic, she kind of took it into the future, kind of going more of an electro pop direction, but that album was very consistent too. Lotus was just like kind of like a very, you know, regular pop album, but it was kind of consistent. But this album just kind of feels all over the place sonically. You have a reggae track, you have a ballad, you have some like R&B joints, you have some like alternative joints. It just feels kind of all over the place. And I know Christina Aguilera is usually good for kind of giving a lot of different vibes on a project, but I feel like in this album it didn't really work as well as she's always done it in the past. So I don't know what it is, but I feel like she didn't really do it as well as she's done it in the past. I think Christina Aguilera is someone who is at her best when she's working with like no more than like 1 or 2 like main producers, maybe even 3, which was like her 2000s album. Her Stripped was like mostly Scott Storch and Linda Perry and some other people. Back to Basics was mostly Linda Perry and DJ Premier, and then she had some other people. I think Christina Aguilera is an artist that kind of gets lost, and I think her last 2 albums showed us a lot. She gets lost when she's dealing with like a lot of different producers and kind of pulling from a lot of different places. And I feel like this album should have stuck with like 1 or 2 main producers, and then fills in the rest of the album with some like one-off R&B and pop producers. And I feel like the person she should have stuck with the most, Anderson .Paak. I feel like the tracks and the vibes that she created with Anderson .Paak were on point. They were dope, and I just feel like I wish she and him like really, you know, like really got more tracks in, because I feel like he really has a dope sound for her. Two of the best songs on the album are the songs that he helped produce and write. So I really wish they collaborated more, and I wish he and his other producers like really produced more of this album. And I also wish he kind of took off the Kanye collabs. I feel like her and Kanye don't make a good collaboration. Two of the worst, I'm not gonna say two of the worst, but like actually no, one of the worst tracks, Accelerate, and Maria, not one of the worst tracks off the album, but I don't really like that song, and those are the two songs he produced. So I really wish she kind of got rid of the Kanye collabs, just forgotten about him. I feel like, you know, Kanye's a great guy, but I don't think he was really meant to produce a Christina Aguilera song. So I wish she got rid of Kanye. And to me, this album would have been better if that has been mostly produced by Anderson .Paak, and then fill in some other producers who are like really hot of the moment, or some like really underground guys who nobody knows about, who would have gave her that fire too. But that's just me. I also feel like the only other critique I have for this album is I feel like I wish she had more tracks about like actual liberation and kind of, you know, being in the state of her life right now where she's kind of came through the fire, and really I just wish there were more tracks where she like showed her growth as a mom and as a woman. Like I feel like those tracks were kind of here. Like you had the Maria track and the interludes and Twice, but I just feel like besides those tracks, we didn't really get enough tracks of like Christina really talking about her being a grown-ass woman and her having really, you know, being liberated from all her growth as a woman. I just didn't feel like we didn't get enough of those tracks. I don't know, but that's just me. That's the only two critique I really have of this album. But all in all, y'all, that's my review of the album. For my rating, I think I'd give this album a 3 out of 5. Not amazing, not terrible, kind of just in the middle. But let me know what y'all think about that rating down in the comments. Appreciate y'all. Alrighty, y'all, so that was my review for Christina Aguilera's new album, Liberation. I gave y'all my review of the album, I gave you guys my rating, I gave you guys my thoughts, but now let me know what you think about the album down in the comment section. Let me know what were your favorite tracks, let me know what were your least favorite tracks, let me know if you thought the album was a classic, if you thought it was a masterpiece, you know, let me know. If you thought the album was just okay and in the middle like me, let me know. If you think the album was complete trash, let me know as well. I want to hear all your thoughts down in the comment section, okay? Appreciate y'all. If you haven't already, hit this video with a like. Hit this video with a like. If you watched this whole video and you enjoyed it, you might as well hit that like button right now. Hit it, okay? Share this video and subscribe to my channel. If you ain't subscribed yet, what you doing? Subscribe right now. But thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Like I always say, guys, live your best life, drink more water, stay woke, and if you're mad or sad, go listen to your favorite song. It'll make you feel better, okay? Go listen to your favorite song. But this has been your boy Bryce, the R&B Kid, and for now, I'm signing off, baby. Bye, y'all.
I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no, 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 no. I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no, no, no. Relax just a little bit. You don't gotta worry, you can just have